This is the B-side, B-side, B-side of marriage. This is the B-side, B-side, B-side of marriage.
Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to another episode of the Bside of Marriage Podcast. I'm your host, Rashonda, and this is my husband and co-host,
Jason.
And here at the B-side, we talk about everything related to marriage. The good, the bad, the real,
the A and the B-side.
So if you're watching us on YouTube, please be sure to comment and subscribe. Or if you're listening on any of the audio platforms, please be sure to rate and review so that others can help find the show as well.
As well, follow us on Facebook at the Bside of Marriage and on Instagram at Bside of Marriage.
All right, so let's get into it. All right, we like to start every episode with our first segment, which we call A or B side, where we share either a positive or not so great moment from our week. And because I introduced the segment, Jay gets to go first.
You acting like this. You acting like that's not how we do it.
I'm just saying, you know.
You always okay.
People might be tuning in for the first time. They don't know, so.
True. That's you're right. You're right. So I honestly, what I'm gonna say is A side.
Okay.
Honestly, for me, it's being able to be at home. Honestly, to be able to be home with the kids, with you.
Oh, 1 second. Okay.
No. But being home, I feel like I'm present. I'm here more. I'm able to, just like when we're helping, like I was helping Micah yesterday with schoolwork. It was hilarious. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, being able to I can do that because a lot of times you was doing that. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's my A side.
You want to know what's funny?
What?
That was also my A side.
Oh, really?
My A side was that you get to experience all the things that I have been experiencing. With working from home and like trying to do the meal prep and then helping them with school. Yeah. Like seeing you like trying to do your training, your job training, and then like helping him and then trying to get Micah to understand like that he knew the word and all. Yeah, so it's great. So our kids are not in summer school, but what I wanted to do, I want to make sure that they're just not on their iPads or on their electronics all day.
Watching TV.
During the summer, yeah. So they have workbooks to kind of just, it's just 15, 20 minutes a day just to keep their brain working and, keep them ready for when school starts.
Yep.
So, but because of that, they often have questions or, they get a little lazy and they don't want to try too hard.
Yeah.
And literally our youngest was just like, Jay was helping him, and then you got up to do something, like you left the room.
I'm just going to the bathroom.
Okay. Well, and so my youngest was like crying on my shoulder. I don't want to do it with Daddy anymore. I don't want to do it with Daddy. I just want to go do it by myself. I was like, well, but you got to keep working at it. Like, I go, Daddy's just trying to help you. Mm-hmm. It was hilarious. And I just enjoyed that moment so much because I'm like, this is what I've been dealing with. Now you're getting to truly understand what
even,
it means in the juggling.
Yeah, and I guess I wasn't like mad or upset about it. Honestly, it was funny because I was thinking like I'm actually coaching him, like in a sport where I'm showing you how to do something over and over. So I wasn't upset. I was just like, that's why I was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, come back. And then, mind you, it was just one word that he said a trillion times already. He just couldn't.
Yes, and what was crazy, he was like whining, complaining about how, he's like, I don't want to work with Daddy. Then all of a sudden he was like, I know that word. and so, because when you came in, you were like, oh, Mommy helped you. I was like, I honestly didn't even know what they were doing because I was working.
Yeah.
So I was like, I have no idea what's going on. But hey, he figured it out like a light bulb, just boop. But it was just the fact that you got to experience all of that.
Gotcha.
I'm just like, see, this is what I mean when I'm like turning off one thing to do another thing, and sometimes having both things.
Oh, okay.
Because you also dealt with, like, you were doing lunch meal prep.
Yes.
So this one was like, it was a lot going on. So this was like, yes, it was great. I had a great time just
sitting back
and watching him experience all the things that I've been experiencing for a while.
Hilarious. So.
It was great. So.
All right. So we go into the next segment. A P2P share. Do you have anything for a P2P share?
Listen. Okay. So I don't have a P2P share because I felt like we had summer was just like, oh, we're going to take it easy. And we're going to, go to our niece's wedding. That's going to be the family vacation. And then when we got back, I just feel like everything's just started like boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Like, it's so much, like, we don't have a few weeks. We have our oldest birthday. And it's this year. It's his year to have a big birthday party. Yeah. So trying to plan that. And then also school is
coming soon.
All of the things are coming. Yeah. And then I am active on the PTA board committee, whatever. I'm involved with PTA this year. So having meetings about that. And so I'm just like, oh no, the summer. Yeah. Like, I don't want the summer to end because anyways. So because of all that, no. If I've had any free time, I've been watching garbage TV. I wouldn't recommend it. So, yeah, I have nothing.
All right. So.
I said all that to say.
Yeah, like you really.
Nothing.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't have anything either this week.
Yeah, I don't have anything to recommend.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. I have a podcast.
Oh.
Maybe.
Okay. Do you?
Okay, I do.
Okay. You said maybe.
I mean, it's a new podcast. It's only a couple episodes. I think it's 2 episodes. Okay. But it's The Basement with Tim Ross, Pastor Tim Ross, and where he just really just talks about he talks about everything, and it's like the basement. So I know I'm probably gonna get this wrong, but anyways. The concept of the basement is that you have to go down, like get down to your relationship with God versus trying to, because everybody's like, oh, they want to get elevated. But as you get elevated, you get further away from Christ. And so anyways, he has a much better explanation. I'm not really doing the podcast justice. But he just talks about things and it's biblical based. Okay. So like he talks about Roe vs. Wade, Disney, but he talks about it from a biblical standpoint, and so it's interesting. And so yeah, I would recommend you guys to check it out. He's also going to have like guests on there, just like not necessarily personalities, like celebrity personalities, but like just everyday people who have questions or who have overcome certain things and stuff like that. So yeah, so check that out.
Okay, well, I still ain't got nothing because I was sitting here trying to think. That was cool.
No, that is good. I have really liked it. It's caused me to challenge why I feel certain way. Like I have certain positions as a Christian on certain things, and it's like,
makes sense.
It makes sense, especially today. He said something really good on this week's episode.
Okay.
I'm gonna share a little bit. So he said, we oftentimes, as we meaning Christians, be like, we try to hold unbelievers accountable to rules and the rules of the Bible when they are not believers. So you can't say you have to turn away from your sinful you have to turn away from your sinful behavior, your sinful acts when they don't believe. Like the very first thing is no matter what you're doing, God loves you. He wants a relationship with you.
Yeah.
So get that first.
Okay.
So once you become a believer, then it's like, okay, now that you believe that I am that Jesus is your Lord and Savior, now you have to make sure that your life aligns with the things that he wants from his children.
Yeah.
But if you don't believe, you can't hold them accountable to those lifestyles because they don't have a relationship with God.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I was like, and that's how it really like, that's why I feel it made a lot of things make sense.
Gotcha.
So, anyhow.
Okay.
So check it out. The Basement with Tim Ross.
All right.
Unpaid advertisement.
You're hilarious. You're hilarious.
Okay.
All right, so
now, what are we talking about today?
All right.
Maybe that's why I'm like in such a good mood because I didn't have to produce today's episode. I'm just here for the ride.
All right. So we talked about kind of briefly about this, about a comment that I heard from, honestly, I don't remember who it was now, but I had heard a comment that you are, what is it? There was a kind of a question. It was like, are you married to your work and dating your family? Mm-hmm. And we had, beginning of the year, we talked about like trying to find not counselor, but a marriage therapist. Mm-hmm. And during that time, you know, like we kind of talked about, like I met somebody and kind of challenged me to do certain things. Yes. So.
Oh, did we ever do an update?
About what?
Like our marriage therapy?
No, I don't think we did.
Okay.
I don't think we did.
We don't need to do that. Okay,
yeah. So I kind of want to kind of talk about that phrasing because even when we actually met with the therapist, the second one, not the first one, the second one, we kind of got into it, meaning not like we was arguing, but it was more of you got to hear my heart about my job, and then you can kind of spoke to as well. So I kind of want to dive into that kind of conversation because now I'm on the other side. Because prior to this, I was, with somewhere where my schedule was very hectic.
Very hectic.
I wasn't home a lot. And even when I came home, I would get calls from work. They need help, and I would be jumping on. So kind of wanted to talk about that. I want to talk about the whole, I guess, married to work. So I want to dive into that. Into that because, again, like I said, with my work, my past job, I was in that phase where I was working a lot, and I was, even myself, I felt because of things that the kids said, even you, that I wasn't saying I was a workaholic. It was just because my schedule was permitted, but so that's why I want to kind of.
Yeah, you can say you weren't a workaholic, or you're just a workaholic, or the schedule, whatever. That was the main concern, was that you would say your words were not matching your actions.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
So.
All right. So, kind of want to start off with a few, not so much signs, but kind of some of the things that was said to me by you, by the kids, of things that you guys had said to me that I think that people kind of look out for, especially husbands, to hear this. If they hear this from their spouse, from their kids, it's like, okay, something has to change.
Okay.
So one of them is, like you said, you miss out on life events for work, that your family complains, and I don't say complains, but more of they say, you gotta go to work again today. So like that's one. Being unable to being able to work seriously stresses them out. Oh, being unable to work, stresses them out.
Stresses who out? The person?
Yeah, the person.
Okay.
Missing work due to illness or injury puts them in a panic. what is it? They find a way to work even if sick or injured. They rarely take vacations, and if they do, they still work while out of the office.
So these are signs that you are married to your job.
Yeah.
And dating your family. Okay.
Yeah. So and then and I'll do just one more. Is like they find it hard to be in the moment because they are thinking about work. So with all those in mind, and I guess you kind of answered it earlier. So do you feel I was married to my work, my previous job? Explain.
Because you were most of that list.
Okay.
You were definitely married, and so it goes back to, yes, what I said about how your words didn't match your actions.
Okay.
Because you would often say, oh, forget that job. Like, well, like you'd be like, oh, well, I'm home, so I'm prioritizing family over work. Mm-hmm. But then as soon as, well, you always had your work phone readily available. Okay. And so whenever there was a call, you would always take the call. Yeah. Even if you were off. And I would be like, but I thought you were off today. Okay. And you'd be like, oh, well, such and such is having this. And they know that I can, if they call me, I can help them out. Yeah. I will help them out. Gotcha. And I was just like, but that's not your job. Mm-hmm. Because that was the whole thing about not setting clear boundaries. Okay. As to what was considered your job versus what your manager, your boss need to handle. Gotcha. Okay. And because you were a jack of all trades and you're very loyal to a fault, okay. I felt like you were being taken advantage of. Okay. So it's like, oh, I don't have to do it because I know Jay will do it, kind of thing. So, but because of that, it was taking time away from us, and we were already getting limited time. Yeah. Because even when you were off, your off days were like you'll have one off day during the week.
And then one on the weekend, yeah. Right.
So during school, the kids, they don't know that you're home. Yeah. Because they're at school. Yeah. They just know, oh, daddy's home when we get home from school. Mm-hmm. And then it's but then they have all their activities and, juggling that. Yeah. So you didn't really get to, partake in anything or really, that's why I was like, it just got to a point where it was just kind of unmanageable for me to always have to do everything. Okay. Because it's fine for us to have okay, you're gonna be this job is it's fine when it's a project. Yeah. Project is okay, for the next, even if it was 6 months, that's fine. This is gonna be life for 6 months, and then it goes back to a normal. But, we never had a normal
because it was always
it was always something, and then baseball season's always forever, and then
and then basketball's right after it. Yeah.
So it was just it just got really draining. Even though I had a decent support system, it's just it's nothing like having you here. Even gotcha. With the kids. Mm-hmm. They behave differently. Yeah. They're getting, even now, there's a different dynamic. Okay. With you being here. So I would say, yes, you were married to work, just because of the nature of your job, as well as just
who I am.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just who I am, because I'm that person that always wants to help people.
Yes. You always want to help people.
I'm a people person, yeah. So
you always think you know everything.
Why you gotta say it
Well, you think you always have the answer. You'll always find the answer.
That's better to say.
Well, I'll find if you don't have the answer, you'll find the answer.
Yeah, but when you say it, I know.
But that takes away, when you're off, that takes away. You're not supposed to even, So you had a very your job was very time consuming as well. Your previous job was very time consuming as well as there was no clear boundaries.
There's no off time, like shut off.
Well, there's no clear boundaries, between your time and their time.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yes. See, I don't see myself. But because I
knew you were gonna say that.
I didn't see it as being.
Well, that's why we went to therapy.
No, I know. Okay. But it's like I didn't see that as being me being a workaholic. But as you say right now, yes, that means it does because I didn't. Yeah. No, like I said, I'm not saying now. Prior to this, I didn't see it that way. Mm-hmm. So, and I guess it goes into my next question. How long did it take for me to actually hear really listen and hear what you were saying as me being working all the time that I couldn't shut my phone if I didn't put it away, and needing, and I don't want to say help, but needing help. That's probably
therapy.
Really?
Therapy was when I felt like you heard me. Which is why we always encourage couples, even if because it's not like our marriage was not bad.
Yeah.
But honestly, because that's why we were proactive in getting therapy, because so that it wouldn't get bad.
Gotcha.
Because honestly, I felt like if we would have continued in the manner that we were going, we would have had a breaking point.
Gotcha.
There would have been a severe crack in our relationship just because I think I had reached my limit on being overwhelmed, and I could no longer juggle everything by myself.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's why we proactively, sought out a marriage therapist to help us navigate this tough season, because it was very much a tough season.
Okay.
We hadn't even talked about that. Literally, there were things that I was doing, and it wasn't enough. Because you remember we talked about me in school, my course load, and so I took only one course because I was I'm overwhelmed. I can't do this. And because I knew we hadn't even really got into the meat of baseball season. I'm just right? So by us going to marriage therapy, having a third party hear what I was saying, and because also too, because even I let you drive who our therapist would be. Yeah. Because it was very important for me to have you connect to the therapist. Also, too, I feel like women will make things work. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about. But by you connecting to the therapist and him hearing my concerns as well as me defending you. Yeah. I don't know, literally, it opened your eyes to stuff that I've been saying over the last couple of months. Hey, this is not working out. Yeah. Have we thought about? Also, too, because I love this dude, right? And he is a jack of all trades, and he's very he will minimize his potential worth. But I think it's your potential. Yeah. And he's and I'm you can be running this whole show. Because you are running it, you're just not getting paid to. Yeah. So I was telling him, I was hey, why don't you just dust off the resume? Just go and see what's out there. I was giving I consider those as subtle hints. Yeah. Hey, why don't we just try to see what's out there? You know? And but because I consider those to be subtle hints, you didn't get them until we were in therapy, and he was okay, so what is it? Because he's I'm talking to you guys, she's defending you. Like, where's the problem? Like, he's like, that's usually not the issues that I deal with when I'm dealing with couples.
Yeah.
And so I truly felt like by me voicing my opinion or voicing my feelings to the therapist, you hearing it from another person, and it was a person that you connected with, you got it.
Okay.
So
even though we, I guess before I say that, so I think I heard, again, I would say, I feel that I heard you, but prior to we actually going to the therapist. I just didn't know how to, I guess, when you bring something to me, I try to fix it. So I didn't know how to fix it. And that's what I went into the mode of trying to fix it instead of having a conversation with you, talking about it, so we can so I can hear it, not say hear it better, but be able to get a better understanding of what it was. So when we went to the therapist, again, like, it's good to go to a therapist. Yes. It's good because, like my wife says, like, she said it to me multiple times. Mm-hmm. And in the context of how he said it to me, it clicked it even more. It was like, okay, I really need to make a change. I really need to, be there, I gotta be more present. I gotta be home with my wife, with my kids, so that I can take that load off her so she can do all the things that she needs to do.
And I guess I felt like you might have heard me as I was giving like the just subtle comments prior to us going to a therapist. I felt as though you were not resolving it in a way that would make significant impact to change. Okay. So you were trying to solve it within your current workplace.
Correct. Yeah.
And I knew that there was not that flexibility there.
Gotcha.
To be able to do anything, to do enough. Okay. So that's why I kept trying to push you to look outside. But you were trying to fix it within, like within your current situation. Yeah. And I was just like frustrated because I felt, honestly, at times I felt like you were not fighting hard enough.
Gotcha.
For us and for our family. Yeah. Versus making sure you didn't piss off the higher ups there.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay.
So yeah.
So after the therapist, I guess you knew I understood, I heard it, or was you still skeptical about me?
I mean, it took a couple of sessions. Okay. Because honestly, I felt like you said, you get a problem, you want to fix it. Yeah. Like I said, I just felt like you wasn't going hard enough. Okay. I was like, okay, you didn't heard it. You agreed with him. And you were like, okay, so I need to do this. But then you were just kind of like, I'm going to do it. And I'm like, but when? I'm like, yeah. Okay. Because you had connections that, like, you didn't utilize your network, I felt like, initially. Okay. And I was just like, yeah, you, like, know people who kind of can do something or who know somebody. Like, let's get this moving. Yeah. It took a while for you to actually get moving.
Yeah, again, because, like you said, like, the way you just said it just now is I was trying to fix it within. And I wasn't, I reached out to a couple people that I knew, but I didn't reach out to everybody that I should have.
But I felt like even when you reached out, you weren't like serious. You wasn't fed up. You were like, I'm just gonna kind of test the waters, kind of thing. But not.
No, you know what?
Serious.
You know what? I think more. It wasn't about being serious. I didn't know what I wanted to get into, what I wanted to do at that point, like in January. I didn't know. Like, I was like, I know I didn't want to be in the same field that I was in that time, because I know it revolves around sports. And I know if I do that again, it's gonna be I'm gonna be in the same wheelhouse. So I didn't know what I wanted to do, what direction, because again, that's part of, I guess, me being a jack of all trades. Just like, okay, I know a lot of little things, but I'm not a master at anything. So it's like, I that's where I was trying to figure that out. And then, like I said, it's, yeah. So, okay, all right.
Yeah, well.
So even when for the job I got right now, like, would you, I guess, what was your thoughts about it?
About what?
About
like
me,
what?
Me being able to work,
like after you got it, or when you're in the
interviewing phase and all that stuff.
Honestly, I was concerned.
Okay.
Because I believe I told you this. I don't know if I told you. I told you this, I think, when you got the offer.
Oh, okay.
The unofficial offer.
Yeah.
Or
okay.
informal offer. I was afraid that you had put, so we prayed. So when after the initial interview, honestly, actually, for every interview, I would pray over Jay before he actually did the interview. And one of the things we agreed to in prayer was that we wanted this to be easy.
Yes.
And we prayed that, Lord, if this aligns with your will, your purpose for us, let these interviews be easy. Let it be conversational. Have your way. And so because with the first two were really easy, like, I should say easy, they just flowed. It was conversational. I was afraid that, honestly, that he wouldn't get the offer. And so I didn't want him to put too much hope.
Yeah.
In that this was going to be the role. If God was like, no, this is not. I just want to get you to practice interviewing skills for the job that I have coming for you.
Gotcha.
So I just didn't want you to put too much hope into it, because toward the end things were getting very shaky at your job.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I was. Yeah.
So you were very much fed up. Like, literally, I didn't know if he was going to come home, because that was the day he had flipped tables or slammed doors. I did not know. So I was just like, Lord, I was praying, Lord, like, if this is not the job, let the job be, like, immediately, like, right behind this opportunity.
Yeah.
Because I knew Jay's patience was weaning.
Yeah.
With the one he was at before. So that's honestly, I was praying. I was like, if this doesn't work out, I don't know what that's going to do to his psyche, because you were fed up with your current, and I was just like, well, I didn't know. So I was just, praying for it to work out, but if it was not God's will, that we would be able to manage it.
Yeah.
Without losing a job and going to one income prior to God's, will being done. So when you did get it, I was excited, because I was like, yes, there will be there will be no gap between jobs. I was very excited, but more importantly, once we got through the offer and looking at it and understanding it, what I like at least hearing, I'm prayerful that it remains this way, but that like it's family oriented, meaning that they're like, if you gotta leave, you gotta leave for family. They also to put their families first, and it's not work first then family. Yeah. So I like that so far. Okay. I like hearing that. I like them asking questions. Yeah. About you and your family dynamic, and so yeah. So now I feel like I was a little hesitant about both of us working from home full time, but also too is it wasn't just working from home. It's like I said, having the ability to be present for your family. Yeah. Because I know, and that's why I was like, I know whoever you work for, you're going to show up and, fulfill the role. Yeah. Like, there's nothing. Honestly, I don't think there's nothing that you can't do. If you don't know it, you will learn it within, as fast as you like. Yeah. So I was just like, you're gonna be a great employee, a great benefit to whomever hires you. So it wasn't really that. It was just really like the mentality of the company and you being able to, like I said, be present.
Okay. Well, yeah, it was, I just laughed at you saying, me coming home flipping tables. Yeah, it got a little.
It is very sketchy at the end.
Yeah, everything was just.
Even when you got the offer, I was like, oh Lord. Please turn in your 2 weeks. Please turn in your 2 weeks. Don't just go like, I'm out.
Yeah, it's funny. She was like, be nice. If they need some more time, just give it to them. Because, if, and it's funny, I listened to, it was Wildin' Out, and a guy named Chico Bean. Yeah. He was like, "Can we cancel?" Like this, like it's a skit. They said, "Can we cancel?" And the audience said, "What can we cancel?" Like that. And he was like, "Can we cancel this? I got to give you 2 weeks when you leave a job." He's like, "No." He's like, "Jobs could fire you today, and you don't get 2 weeks. Why we got to give you 2 weeks? We should be able to be like." So
that is funny.
It's funny. It's like
I honestly thought that's what was gonna happen. I was like, Jay's gonna go in here and he's gonna be like, "Listen, I'm out. Send all my stuff. Here's my address. Send it all. I already packed up y'all stuff. Here it is." I was very concerned because it got like I said, it was very sketchy towards the end. It was very tense. It was very tense. Yeah. Your mentality was in a very bad spot.
And I'm not normally like that.
No. Like even, and that was what I knew, because it's one thing to work a lot of hours, but it's also the quality of like your, like who you're working with and the work you're doing and stuff. Like that also plays a part, because you can work a lot of hours, but you're like, okay, I feel, valued. Yeah. I'm doing this. But he was like working the hours. He was coming home like literally depleted. And I'm just like, yeah, so the kids want to like do stuff. I'm like, yeah, like we want to do something. Like we've been waiting for daddy, to be home, and he's home and he's not in the best mood. Yeah. So, yeah, because even so we had some summer projects like, teaching the kids how to ride bikes and, playing basketball and all the things. And Jay would be like, why y'all want to go to the park? I'm like, of course they're kids. They want to go to the park. Yeah. But he just like, his whole mood was just like off. And I was just like, so I knew he had to get out because it was literally having a negative impact on us and our household. And so that's why I was like, I'm just very glad when you got the offer, like you have been a different person.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. Again,
a different person.
I'm glad. I don't have that weight on me. Yes. I can say that I don't have that weight on me anymore. Because I felt like I had there was a lot of weight on me. And now I'm in a way better place.
Yes.
And I'm, I wanted to kind of talk through this because, again, I'm pretty sure there are.
Oh, yes.
Husbands, even wives. I'm not going to just say it's just husbands. I know there are probably wives that, they work, I don't want to say they work a lot, but they take their work better more than their relationship with their spouse, stuff like that. So I kind of wanted to just give everybody insight on what we like, how we had what we went through. I don't say what we went through, kind of the stages that we went through, and then even how we came to the point of kind of having the conversation, as well as going to a therapist to be able to allow the therapist to speak into me. I'll say both of us, so we can be able to move forward and not make this not say break us on this, but so we can move forward with it.
Because that's what I felt like we've always been able to talk to each other.
Yeah.
But I think we were talking at each other and we weren't really hearing each other.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's why we needed to have a therapist, like a third party, come in and be able to really speak. And that was another good thing about our therapist was that he didn't really take sides.
No,
he was just like, so this is the deal, and this is what she's like. This is what she's saying. This is what he's saying. So what are y'all gonna do?
Yeah.
And then we came up with our plan.
Yeah.
So.
And he was on me too, because he was like, I need you gotta make a decision. You gotta do something. It wasn't just
to the point where I'm defending him.
Yeah.
Like, he's a good guy. He does this, he does that. Well, and that's what he was like. Do y'all hear what's going on? She wants this she wants this for you, but she's also defending you.
Yeah.
And when she's not having all her needs met.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I want to kind of highlight is that you can very well be in a loving marriage. Love is not happiness.
Correct.
So we were very much in a loving, strong marriage where our needs were not being met. Because of, all the things. So, but just because my needs were not being met didn't mean that I stopped loving him. Didn't mean that I stopped caring for him. It was just this is where we're at.
Yeah.
We've done this for, y'all, we were doing this for years. What, 7 years?
Almost 9 years.
Almost, okay. See, almost 9 years we have been living with the expectation that this was not supposed to be long term.
Yeah.
So it was just at that point I was like, our needs have changed. These are my needs now.
Yeah. Let's
see how we can make sure that both needs are being met.
Yeah, and that's why it's they always say that, I don't say they always say, but you change in your marriage as you as you age in your marriage. I'm not saying age in your life, but age in your marriage, things changes, and you have to be able to, I guess, not say pivot. I guess that's the word, to pivot. You got to learn how to pivot, and it's not about that. That person shouldn't change. We all change every day. We're changing, so you have to be able to pivot and be able to, change directions so that you guys can continue to move forward together, like that. So, So I guess is there anything else you can think of that?
I'm sure, but I don't want the episode to be too long.
Oh, okay. All right. So one, I guess, the advanced marriage tip, I guess, for me, first of all, everybody go see a therapist. Get together, go see a therapist, just so your therapist can give you guys not so much the tools, but so you can actually hear what each other's saying. You know, so like my wife said, so you're not just talking at each other, but you're talking. What is it? Not talking at each other, but you're talking with each other. So it's like, you know, because you know sometimes you don't hear your spouse. You hear what they say, you listening, but it doesn't compute. Understand. It doesn't compute. Mm-hmm. And being able to sit with somebody who can actually not so much point a finger at you, but be able to take what you said and say, okay, this is what your husband or this is what your wife is saying. Do you hear what they say? Like, to be able to get down to the deep part of it, because I really feel that, if we didn't go to that therapist, I'd probably still be at that job right now.
Yes, I agree. No, I completely agree. Also, too, because this is, you know, we do coaching, right? We do marriage coaching. But sometimes it takes someone else, like, just saying, hey, y'all are talking at each other, but are y'all listening? Do you hear the heart behind? Yeah. Because that's one of our things, like communication's the thing. Like, you got to use your I statements, you know, make sure that you're leading from your heart, not just saying words. And it's just like, but you need those reminders from an external person to be like, hey, you know what?
I'm not using my I statements.
Well, it's like, you guys are talking, but I don't think you're hearing each other. And then when she's saying this, what do you... Like, literally, because it's just like something you have to practice. Yeah. These are things that we learned during premarital, early, or newlywed years. You have to keep practicing these tools, using these tools, because you will always need them. Yeah. And that's what a marriage coach, a marriage counselor, marriage therapist, they provide that, like, reminder. Like, hey, so this is what she's saying. What do you hear? This is what he's saying. What are you hearing? Yeah. So, and then even like you said, and we'll end it there. You even said something back in that same episode. Was it mental health and marriage or something like that? Yeah, it was earlier this year. That you said, you know, and we're not doctors, but you said doctors need doctors. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, we're, you know, marriage coaches and premarital counselors, but at the same time, we still need it too. It's not like we know everything, that we're perfect. We have to be able to have somebody speaking to us too. Yes. So, but I kind of just wanted to say that because, it's...
No, I agree. I agree.
So, well, that's it then. I guess, you know, we will...
Well, hold on. I just... See, that's what this episode can get along now. But no, also, I don't know if this is a marriage advance tip or whatever, but affirm your spouse, even if that's not their love language. Speak into their strengths. I think that also, too, helped us. Because when Jay would not feel like he was good enough to apply to certain roles, I literally was like, you can do this, you are this, you are this, you are this, you are this.
That is true.
Apply.
That is true. No, you're right.
So, and we always, I shouldn't say we, people of color tend to not apply for jobs because we don't feel like we have like the certifications. All the credentials. If it's like you need to have these 10 requirements and we have all but one, like, can't apply. And I'm just like, no, because also too, we negate our life experiences outside of just what we do for our job. Yeah. Like, all of that matters. You bring all of that, like, as you're supposed to bring your whole self to your marriage, you bring your whole self to your job. So stop negating, you know, everything that you've accomplished. So by affirming your spouse, and that's just not necessarily for just them to get a new job or to get whatever. Affirm them in your relationship. Because you need this person. You're each other's helpmates. So you need to speak into why you appreciate them, why you love them, why you need them, why you want them.
Yes.
It works.
Yes, it does. Thank you, my love.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Oh, my goodness. All right, well, if you guys have any topics you want us to talk about.
You okay? Do I need to close it out?
Yeah, no, that's... You can close it out.
Well, I'm just saying, don't take your spouse for granted.
Yeah.
Because there's somebody else who wants your boo. Trying to tell you. But don't be looking over here, okay? I'm saved, but I'll fight, okay? You know what Toby said? Anyway, if you guys have any other topics you want us to tackle or address, please be sure to hit us up on the socials, email us. All the information will be in the episode notes.
Share this with people. Share with everybody.
Share.
Yes. And share this with everyone.
Share.
So until next week, y'all.
All right. Peace.